Hi, Trevor here, reflecting on life through music. Thank you for stopping by. Well, coming again today, you're very welcome. I trust you enjoyed my last video from Keen, the very distinctive style, keyboard-based style of Keen, and the song Somewhere Only We Know. We looked at this concept of escaping, so I trust you found that one encouraging. We're going from there to, well, a genius in many ways. This guy's very well regarded indeed. He was born in 1953 in Brooklyn, New York, but the family would move to 1957 in Los Angeles. He actually was surrounded by musical performers, this guy, and he got involved at a very young age. He learned ukulele from the age of 3, guitar at the age of 5, and piano at the age of 7. This guy is an incredibly talented piano player. Oh my goodness, he's quite amazing. And his voice can go really high. At the age of 8, he was actually in a show at the Time of the Cuckoo, and critics say that he stole that particular show. At the age of 10, he was found trapped in a production of The Sound of Music. And at the age of 1965, Decca Records came calling. He was 12 at the time because he already had 40 songs written. In fact, Decca wanted to set this guy up as a bit of a teen idol, and Keith Green, who we're talking about today, said, yeah, well, we could do that, but it didn't really work out that well for him, because around about the same time, Donny Osmond also was becoming quite well known in the United States. So he thought, well, so I'm just going to run away. Obviously, life's not working, and I'm just going to pretend like it doesn't exist. And that led to a bit of a destructive behaviour for Keith. He got onto drugs, and sort of the late 1960s, the free love movement. But it's around 1972, this will be a major moment in Keith Green's life. He did come back to Christianity, and he did actually accept his Lord Jesus Christ as Lord and Saviour. And from that point onwards, his life would change. And certainly at the age of 19 in 1973, he met Melody Steiner. Now, Melody came from a completely different background to Keith, very pure, very everything just right. And Melody became a bit of a stabilising influence for Keith Green. And it was around 1975 too that the couple was starting to help people in their own home, people that were a bit down and out, because this couple knew a little bit about the hard life. They kind of reached out to other people, and they became known as the Greenhouse. And up to 17.5 people would settle in this house and to accept the help that Keith and Melody Green would offer. But and during that time, Keith Green also became an ordained minister. But there's more to Keith Green than just this, and this is the significance of this guy. And that was that in 1976 he was signed to Sparrow Records as a recording artist. And then in 1977, out came his first album, For Him Who Has Ears to Hear. Now, this album was absolutely massive for Keith Green. He already had a bit of a following, and he's just got this yearningness about him, this compulsion about him. He's just the all-round compelling entertainer, incredible vocals, incredible piano playing, incredible songwriting. Just everything was amazing. This guy is a force of nature. Bearing in mind that he was performing from the age of 8, and he did get offered, eventually CBS Records came calling, and he got a 5-album record deal at a very young age. That's how significant this guy was. For Him Who Has Ears to Hear. And this album topped the contemporary Christian music charts. And one of my favourite songs of his, Before Your Love Broke Through. I was searching for life. Life wasn't really working. I was looking for everything to fill the gap that was in my life and nothing was doing it until you, Jesus, came into our life and you found the gap. Before Your Love Breakthrough is an absolutely beautiful song. We've got a live version of this one below. And I think this yearning that we have, this ache for that missing piece, that ache to think, well, actually, if I just get more money, that will actually solve the problem. Or maybe I get a love of my life, that will solve the problem. Or maybe if I just get that corner office, that will solve the problem. Or if I get the corner office, or I get the new car, or perhaps I try this version of spirituality, that might be the thing that will help me out. Well, Keith Green would argue that there's only one thing that will actually fill that crazy missing part, and that is God's love through his son Jesus. I am a Christian myself. You know, probably most people who actually follow my channel would actually know that, and I can testify to the fact that is absolutely true. Because it doesn't matter how much we try to do the things we need to get through this life, and let's face it, life is quite complicated these days. It's quite hard to be a human being these days, to keep it all together, to reach for the stars, to grab the opportunities when they come, to be measured, to be a loving, kind human being. All of the sort of things that we need to do to be human is getting harder and harder and harder to do these things. We are surrounded by influences which aren't so helpful either. This is just to make life even more complicated. And so what do when we just need that bit of extra something, a bit of extra peace, a bit of extra strength, a bit of drive, an extra bit of this, an extra bit of that? Well, Keith would argue, and so would I, that God's the only thing that can do that. Because when that missing piece of our soul is filled, it's an absolutely beautiful, stunning thing. The search is over. And Keith Green certainly, and in the late 1960s, was on a massive search. You know, the industry he thought he was going to have a career in didn't eventuate. So, you know, what do you do when life ends like that? Well, he searched and he yearned. And the great thing about God is that he is in those journeys with people. You know, he is interested in what's going to happen. He's not going to force himself on you, by the way. God is a gentleman, absolutely. He's not going to force himself on you, but he's there waiting for you to choose him. And, you know, even before you accept him, he loves you. He desires to have a relationship with you. And one of the great things about becoming a Christian is that forgiveness, whatever you've done, by the way. You might be thinking, oh, come on, Trevor, that's a bit unfair. You know, what about someone who kills somebody or murders somebody, or that person who had that affair? Surely they're unforgiven. Well, no, if you want it, it's there for you. This is how big God's love is. And the song Before Your Love Breakthrough, love is patient and kind, as I've said a few times before. So, you know, we would want patience and kindness if we're on the receiving end of love. This is what God's love actually is. And so, I'm not going to say any more than that, just to say that if you are wondering about that extra bit, the extra bit to get you across the line with some things, consider God, because he absolutely comes through for you. And so we've got a live version of Before Your Love Breakthrough below. Probably one of my most favourite Keith Green songs. Move forward to 1978. We had the album No Compromise. This entered into a new chapter of Keith Green's career, and that was he'd found this compelling love of God, and I think he was starting to question the commitment towards this love. And that is, now obviously God accepts us for who we are, but there's always more I think that we can do to become more Christ-like. And it was starting to look at the church and think, hang on a minute, you know, there's a little bit of a hypocrisy happening here. Can we do life just a little bit different? So No Compromise is very much a call to the Christian world. We've got a couple of songs. We've got the Dear John letter. Now, Dear John, you know, when you get a Dear John letter, it's always about the breakup. Now, in this particular song, John refers to the devil. Now, if you don't think the devil exists, think again. In fact, the devil actually wants you to believe that he doesn't exist, because he can have his way with you. He can get you into all sorts of trouble without having to try too hard. Forget those who think, hey, look, I'm going to go to hell. It's a great thing. You don't want to go there. Trust me. You just do not want to go there. It's so much better to be going to heaven. It really, really is. So the Dear John letter, Keith talks about the scariness of that time. And I think if it goes, again, going back to the late 1960s when well and truly this is what was happening, he was scared. He was really, really scared. He was not finding peace at all. Nothing like the Before Your Love Broke Through moment. He was absolutely scared. And the devil never promises assurance. He never promises safety at all. He also provides you with that sense of unease and unsureness. So we've got a great clip of Dear John letter. Now, one of the other reasons I've chosen this song is because of the piano playing. Listen to now. You can't see the hands that much, but the piano playing is absolutely superb. It's ferocious. It's chaotic. It's just so complete to capture the essence of saying goodbye to the devil. And I think you know, I want to put that clip in there just to show the all-encompassing talent that is Keith Green and the uncompromising way in which he goes about what he did. We've also got Make My Life a Prayer to You. I want to do what you want to do. No white lies, no nothing. My life is all yours, because I know for me, if I give my life to you, God, is only going to be the best possible thing it can be. This is a great thing about God. He doesn't actually promise a stress-free life, by the way, but he does promise a sense of assurance which you're not going to get from anywhere else. So Make My Life a Prayer to You is a bit of a thank you from Keith back to God for making his life the way it has been. He did have a pretty amazing worldwide voice at this point. From 1979, he said to Sparrow, hey, you know what, I'm a bit unsettled about charging money for my albums and for my concerts, so I'm only going to negotiate out of my contract. And from that point onwards, he would only take what people were willing to pay for his albums and also for his concerts. So You Want to Go Back to Egypt was his next release, and he and Melody mortgaged his house for this release. And he said, hey, whatever you guys want to pay for the album, absolutely. So he shipped about 200,000 copies. 61,000 of them were free. So 1979, So You Want to Go Away to Egypt, referring, of course, to the Israelites' exodus from Egypt. In 1981, we had the Keith Green Collection came out. A couple of songs of this album. We got The Sheep and the Goats. This again typifying Keith Green's piano playing. He's also his ability to tell a story. This song is taken from the part of the Bible that talks about, well, you were hungry. Did you feed the hungry? Did you give drink to the thirst? Did you visit those in prison? Did you clothe those people that needed clothing? Because you know what, this is part of the deal. You've got to help your fellow man. And the implications of if you don't do that, so the sheep and the goats are straight from the Bible, but Keith Green's has got a fantastic version of that one, live clip below. He'll take care of the rest, don't worry, God's got it, live version of that one below. Move forward to 1982, Songs for the Shepherd. Now, I do remember I did a request of Keith Green a little while ago, and this, The Lord is My Shepherd, certainly did get a look at right there. The Lord is my shepherd is based on Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd. Unfortunately, there's no live version of this one, but if you want to hear how excited the record company was getting with the production of Keith Green, nothing typifies it more than this song. It's absolutely a stunning version. So I've got a static version of that one below. Last Day Ministries was also getting a bit of a following at this point. This is the ministry that Keith and Melody started in their garage. There was producing a newsletter, but they would eventually create a community in the San Fernando Valley, and a bit of a Christian community was formed there. But unfortunately, it was in 1982 And this is the tragedy of this story. Um, Keith Green overloaded a plane, basically, for the plane to take a look at the Last Day Ministry site. And 11 people in a small plane is just not going to work. And unfortunately, the plane did crash. And all 11 people on board, Keith and 2 of his boys, were killed, and only at the age of 28. And it was a very, very tragic end to Keith Green's life. Melody Green is still with us, and I think we owe it to Keith Green in many, many ways to look at this life of no compromise, this life of meaning what we say and meaning what we do, because we're in this day and age. Integrity is not a thing that's so much there now. This is a call to integrity. And so Keith Green was an absolute force of nature. He was an incredible singer, very, very incredible range, just a chaotic, once-in-a-lifetime piano player as well. Incredible songwriter. I mean, to have written 40 by the age of 12, just goes to show what a prolific talent this guy was. A video like this one does not do Keith Green justice. Nothing will do Keith Green justice. Keith Green was Keith Green. And it's great to be able to pay tribute to this guy today. So the links to those 6 clips are in the description below, and I've also included my last video from Keen, so if you want to recap on them, feel free. Well, if this is your first time to Life Reflections through Music, or you've come back for another one, I want to thank everybody for joining me today. Well, that's it for today. Next time we're going to get on to Kelly Clarkson. So until then, I'll catch you around. Bye for now.